to do with it.
Right, we are now live. Right, hi guys. Welcome to the live stream. This is a live stream interview with my friend and citizen journalist David Atherton. Obviously, I met Dave. The first instance when I met Dave was when I was in an X space, and then we went on to meeting up in person when we went out for a couple of drinks in London. And then the second and third time would be when we met up at the Barbican Hotel protest, and then further at the United Kingdom rally. So, Dave, over to you, mate. I'd like to just, start from the beginning, mate, on where where you grew up and where you're from, where you grew up. Yeah.
Well, we quickly brush over me. And by the way, to my complete enjoyment, the X live feed is working. I can't believe it's having worked first time. It took very little time to set up. But no, this is where I ruined my street credibility. I was born in Ascot in Berkshire. I always say before it was posh. What happened was, in fact, my parents bought their house in Ascot because they could. Because my dad worked at Heathrow Airport for 40 years as an electrician, and mum and dad couldn't afford to buy a house in Hounslow, that well-known shithole. And I couldn't afford to live in Hounslow, so they bought a house in Ascot because it was cheaper. I think it was 17, early part of the 18th century that Queen Anne discovered Ascot Heath, where she built the racecourse. But in the 1960s, Bracknell, which is 3 or 4 miles down the road, was designated a new town. Yeah, and it brought in a lot of skilled working class people, the machinists and engineers, and they came into Bracknell, and Ascot grew up as a lower middle class, semi 2 up 2 down type place. It was only in the 1970s. That they actually, you had the big houses and the big 6-bedroom estates, whatever. Yeah, and it's mega posh now. It's ridiculously expensive. I was a taxi driver. I was telling me when I went to see my mum, the houses were going there for 1.4 or 2 million pounds. So it's beyond the reach of many people these days. I moved out of Ascot simply because it was getting like London. It's concrete jungle. You can't go anywhere. In your motor. And if you look live in a concrete jungle, save yourself a commute and go and live in London. So that's how I did
mate. Do you know what, mate? I was obviously, yeah. It's not really. It's still like an absolute hellhole, right? Down in Croydon. I was down there the other day. I went to visit my nan, and it ain't changed, mate. It's literally got worse, if anything. But
yeah, sure. Well, I think what happened with Croydon is that Brixton became gentrified, and it's like Notting Hill and Ladbroke Grove. It used to be a really sort of shitty area, and that's where a lot of the West Indians lived. And as it became fashionable, they were sort of economically eased out of the area. They settled in Harleston. The same thing with Brixton, as Vauxhall and Brixton has become gentrified. The West Indian population has been displaced to Croydon. So that's the reason it's not in the best of shape. My understanding. No, I lived in Hackney for 20 years, and Clapton, to be precise, just off Murder Mile. And they built the tube line to Hackney Central, and that's become gentrified. I saw a lot. I'm going to sound liberal here for a second. I'm going to sound liberal here for a second. There's a Weatherspoons at Hackney Central, and that's where all of life exists, sort of thing. And it struck me, all those little white middle class soy boys, the ones you see at the anti-farm marches, absolute merchant bankers, and I really felt so. I really felt sorry for the West Indian population. It was their home. They lived there for 30, 60 years, 2 generations, and they're being displaced from their own town, from their own area. Where they're going to, I don't know. I've got no idea where they are going to go to. But there we go. Useless white people. White people are wankers. So.
Mate, listen.
Sorry to sound liberal,
No, Dave, listen. So what was like your early influences? Like, in regards to, I'd say within regards to your politics mainly, what influenced you to move into politics and, and get into citizen journalism?
I was first aware of how awful the Labour government was in the late 70s during the winter of discontent.
Yeah.
Literally bodies. The grave diggers went on strike during the winter of discontent. There was piles of rubbish in Leicester Square. There's piles of rubbish everywhere on the road, and rat infested. And the trade unions become far too powerful in the 1970s, late 1970s, and now they were virtually running the government. And this had to stop. And obviously, Baroness Thatcher came in, and what a great job she did. And I don't consider her to be a divisive person at all. These people chose to be divisive, and very briefly moved. I spent 36 years in recruitment, and made money.
Years?
I'm sorry.
Did you say 26 years in recruitment? Did you say
36 years in recruitment?
36 years. Oh, blimey.
Yeah,
okay.
blimey. Yeah.
You enjoyed doing that then?
Yeah, well, maybe I did actually.
It's
just
like pay the bills, like.
Yeah, it always paid the bills. No, most IT people are very intelligent and conversational, but conversational people. It's quite good in that respect. It's like most jobs, 90% is boredom, 10% is great fun. And I used to get the boys from Citibank out for a few sherbets.
36 years in recruitment, but it's getting you to bloody turn the camera around on that phone.
Exactly. I know. I know. I'll tell you all about COBOL and PL1 and full stack development and But I operate a PC. I'm completely and utterly shite. But anyway, So I did that for 36 years, and the other reason I quit it to go into journalism and broadcasting is actually liberal. I'm sorry, I'm a bit of a closet liberal, me, and I just to give you an idea what a difficult job it was. If you started off with 100 people in recruitment in 2020, for argument's sake, 5 years later, 2025, 95% will have quit. Only 5% will actually make the grade because it's such a tough job. It really is dog eat dog, and it really is red meat raw capitalism. And I for some reason I lasted 36 years. But no, I just to say about Citibank, those were the days. Thursday night, Friday everyone goes home early for the weekend. Thursday night was kick off at 6 o'clock, 6:30. Couple of bouteilles of wine. Then we'd be stuck into have a spot of dinner. Get a bit of lining for the stomach. Then about midnight, it was girly club time. So. Hello, darling. I know it's 3 o'clock in the morning, but I was just entertaining my clients. See you in the morning.
Oh, mate.
Those were the days, my friend. Yeah, I thought they'd never end. They did. So, no, the reason I quit was...
grow up, mate. We've all got to grow up eventually, ain't we?
Well, I'm still doing it at 47 years of age, mate. So
you still feel like you're in your. Do you still feel like you're in your youth, or just do you feel like an old git?
Yeah, I still feel 30 years of age. I still got the the impression I've got my gate when I was 30 years of age. I was playing professional soccer, playing a professional soccer league out in America in 1990. So I don't look a day over 80, you know. People think I'm 70, 76 all day long, you know.
I remember. Listen, quick one. I remember when we was down a pub when we went out for a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
Well, the first time when we met, I remember you said to me you used to play a bit of football, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had extended trials and played for Spurs reserves back in the early 1980s. So I was spotted. I was spotted on Hackney Marshes playing. And I was only right back that could catch the ball on his shoulder blades and balance it on the top of his head. So I was sort of knobby stars with a bit of extra aggression, you know. Vinnie Jones is a bit of a pussy to me, you know. So you put me in a set of football birds, and nice affable Dave becomes a snarling thug.
Oh mate.
So indeed, yeah. So I just very briefly finish off on the story of why I left recruitment for broadcasting and journalism. Was that I had some complaints from clients about the quality of the people I was supplying, and I thought let's do a little bit of analysis. So I wrote all their names down, and I noticed that the people that the client was really happy with were all British born. All the people that the client wasn't happy with were foreign born, and I mean all.
Yes.
You know, this was 100%. It's 100%. It was about 20 people, 10 British, 10 foreign. And I thought, well, look, I do not want to carry on in an industry where I am overtly racist. I have to be overtly racist. And I didn't want to do that, and so I quit that and became a journalist and broadcaster, so to speak. So and may God bless Elon Musk and all who sail at X for monetizing me. So I thought I left the industry for principled reasons, and they are. I'm sorry, they are liberal.
So when did you get started on X then? When did you start yourself on X? Like, so how long have you been? I think it's become. Do you know what I mean? Like, all Twitter as a whole.
Yeah, I think 2010, but I seriously became involved in Twitter about 2.5 years ago. I think in October 2022, I had 40,000 followers, and now I've got 317,000. So, I know. So, I think I'm slightly peaking now. The good old days where I picked up 1,000 a day are gone now. They're sort of regularly about 100, 200 a day I'm picking up. But and Elon's got his finger on the bots, and they're all getting deleted. And I just think, make some progress here to 315,000 or something. I lose 1,000, But I really thank Elon Musk to give me the freedom. To be able to do what I do, the amount of DMs I get from followers and such like, they're petrified. They're absolutely petrified of saying something wrong on social media and losing their jobs. I'm the conduit. I'm the funnel for them to. I'm their mouthpiece. I'm their platform for them.
You're like the middle. They're like the middleman, and they're just giving it, passing it on to the final place, so they don't.
Exactly. Again, I've got to be very careful what I say here. I was chatting to. I was in conversation with a lady who works for the National Health Service. Very, very senior. I'll leave it at that. She's very, very senior. And she said, "Look, Dave, can you delete our conversation?" She was that paranoid. That look, if you get your phone nicked, and they break into it, blah blah blah, I'm going to lose my job. Now I've got 2 kids. I've got a mortgage. I said, well, just send me your stuff, and I'll keep it as anonymous as I can. And it seems to me at the moment, surely, that the whole of Britain's institutions have been captured by the left and the woke. The phrase
Yeah,
for it is,
I agree with that, mate. I 100%. I'm with you on that one, mate.
yeah, it's called the long march through the institution, the Marxist long march through the institution. It's based on Chairman Mao.
Yeah, because
So,
it's like, I was about to say, just because it's like, oh, mate, even back when, even back when I was in the army, right? I was talking to a group of pals, and like literally, like we could see it was still like, even back then, and that was back in like 2000 and like 2011, 2010. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Like we could see something was happening. We could see something was coming. Like we used to literally congregate in the block, like like whichever, like we go around to the powder room and that.
Sure.
And we literally sit there having a couple of beers and that. And we talk about it for ages. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And then like it's funny because with all the woke shit, right? It's like when I left in 2015.
Sure.
When I come out the army in 2015, literally like I just I cracked on with life, whatever, right? And then I got my best mate is still in, right? So he's been in. My best mate's been in for like 16 years now. We was bunk pals in like phase 2 training, right, in Lark Hill.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's like, he said to me, bruv, he was like, mate, he was like, I said, are you still enjoying it? I said, are you signing off yet? Are you getting out? And he was like, I think I'm too far along in the tooth for that, Sean. I said, I think I'm going to push it out, get my 22 years, get my pension and all that, because I ain't really got much to go yet now. But what I will say is, it's just like since you left, mate, it's literally, it's had a complete revamp. It's all gone like pink and fluffy, like recruit, like all new recruits that are in Purbright, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Apparently, like there's this new system now where if a recruit don't like the way they're getting spoken to, right, by the training staff, they can pull out like a red card, pink card, whatever, and say, put it out on the train. So I don't like the way you're talking to me. I'm like, what? Like, are you having a laugh? Like, you're training. You've joined the army to become a British soldier, right?
Yeah.
You're training to be a British soldier, and you don't like the way the training staff talking to you. They're training you to be a soldier, like. And I just thought, mate, that is some next level shit, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I know, it's our army. I think they've noted that the people, the senior officers have noted that the people that are quitting the army at the moment are the best troops. No, presumably the ones with lots of initiative and easily get themselves a job in Civvy Street.
Yeah,
and it's it is so it's so difficult to find this. I spoke to a lady today. Who got fired for by a school on the South Coast, and it was purely because she supported Donald Trump and Elon Musk. She didn't say anything offensive, didn't say anything illegal, didn't say anything immoral, just that she had the wrong views. And I'm going after that school in Hastings, and there is one guy I'm particularly going for. He's the one who got her sacked. He's going to regret that. This is going to be a reign of terror, as far as not a reign of terror in the sense of I'll be pointing out the facts and what's going on. But I know I just cannot understand how people can't bear other people's views. It's completely and utterly beyond me. I just think it's insulting. I think it's wrong.
What do they call it? Elon calls it the woke mind virus, doesn't he?
Yeah, I know it does. Yeah.
It's like
exactly.
They've been like, do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like you join the army, you sign up to join the British Army, because you want to be a soldier and you want to, do you know what I mean? And you want to do your bit for your country, right?
Sure. Yeah.
You don't go in there, sign up, and then you don't, and then you're like putting out a card, Like, I've never heard of this card system where they pull out cards. That weren't there when I joined up in 2009.
Sure.
I don't like the way I don't like the way Staff Sergeant, Joe Blogg spoke to me and all that lot. And I'm like, do you want them to go, right, okay, please, may you get out of your beds and we are going to go for a run now. Is that okay? Or do you want to have 5 more minutes in your scratcher? Yeah. You want to sleep a little bit more, mate, in your scratcher?
Yeah.
Mate, they come, mate, when I was in, they come in at 3 o'clock in the morning, mate, tipping us out of beds, mate. Do you know what I mean? Saying, right, get out of bed, get out of fucking bed. Come on. Do you know what I mean? We're going on a run. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like, that's how it's done, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that's their job. They're trying to weed out the people who, they're trying to break people. They're trying to say who's actually, there who wants to be there and who don't want to be there. So they're weeding out the weak from, do you know what I mean? From the stronger recruits.
You can just imagine, not at Falklands 1982, this sort of Mount Longdon, the staff sergeant saying to somebody, get your head down, and then they get the pink card out, it's absolutely ridiculous,
Oh, sorry. I was quickly touch base with the comments quickly.
Go, please.
Right, who we got in here? Junie. Hello, Junie. You right, mate? Kaz. You right, Kaz?
Oh, Craig Houston's there.
David Gregson. Yep. Craig Houston. How you doing, mate? You right, geez?
Sam, hi, Ellen.
Right,
Samantha Smith.
Samantha Smith. You right, mate? Willie S. Williams. How you doing? You right?
And Judy Rhodes gets the award for the first comment. Good evening to you both. Followed by Kaz Quinn.
No, it's brilliant, mate. Brilliant. But yeah, no, mate. Honestly, and it's literally like that's when I started to go like I just thought, fuck this. I'm not like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry for swearing, by the way, everyone. I probably know this.
I'm trying to tone it down. I'm normally off.
I'm
regulating.
If it slips out the odd one or two, do you know what I mean? I'm a bit more comfortable, as you lot can tell, because obviously Dave's a friend, and do you know what I mean? I don't feel so much under pressure. But yeah, but yeah, no. So what was your first piece of real coverage? Would you say like you got the one like a nice real bit of coverage that you put onto your X?
Sure.
That you would like rate it to be like, yeah, that was probably my decent first bit of coverage I've ever got.
Probably my ultimate in broadcasting. How I got into journalism and broadcasting was back in 2006, where the Labour government brought in the smoking ban on July the 1st in England, 2007. I'm still hopping mad today about it. Best part of 18 years later, I'm still. Yeah,
mate, I remember when you went into pubs and that, and like people were smoking in pubs and all stuff like that. It was normal. It was completely normal. And obviously, and they brought it in the smoking ban and stuff. But
I really don't think the smoking ban might be a sort of a niche issue for most people, but there's two basic facts that come out of this. First of all, it was the first time Labour, basically, if you're working class, you're twice as likely to smoke than if you're middle class. Twice as likely to smoke. And to my mind, this was the first time there was an obvious attack on the working classes and their lifestyles and their social habits. Pubs and particularly working men's pubs and clubs are private property. What the hell the government has to do with regulating a legal substance on a private property and stopping the assembly of like-minded people is borderline authoritarian. It's none of your bloody business. On private property whether you can smoke or not. People have the choice. I think it's Tennessee. I think it is. They have no smoking bans whatsoever, and 70% of restaurants are smoke free, and 30% probably have a separate section for smokers. Well, it's fair enough. When you have a free market, and there's no compulsion to go to a bar or a pub. It's your choice. Also, as well, the other thing that came out of the smoking ban, which 20 years later resonates, is it was the first time the government lied to us about the science. I don't know if you've seen today that there are 2 studies out that show 23%. One from Italy shows that those who have been jabbed 3 times have a 23% higher chance of contracting cancer. And there is also a study that came out of Korea, where it's lung, breast, and prostate cancer. The hugely significant 50% increased chances of contracting that disease, particularly if you're over 65. By the way, just to rub the establishment's nose in it, your chances, according to the research data from Pfizer, Moderna, etc., you have a 3% chance of dying from the COVID vaccine, and you had a 1% chance of dying of COVID. The vaccine was 3 times more deadly than the disease. And let's just pay tribute to Andrew Bridgen, for fighting his corner for years. I think 2022 he mentioned it first of all. I saw it in a tweet today. That's 3 years ago. And the lie that surrounded the smoking ban was that apparently passive smoking causes lung cancer and heart disease. Post ban, I've even had people who are part of the anti-smoking movement say to me privately, we did tell some fibs. There is no evidence. There is no direct, evidence. What's the word I'm looking for? Unimpeachable evidence would suggest.
But Colonel Andrew Bridgen, I think, a while back, Colonel tried to get him on as a guest speaker, but it was quite hard to get hold of him. Yeah. Maybe we could try again.
Yeah, sure. Well,
you're in contact with him, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed, yeah. So you asked me a question, what is my most prestigious moment?
Yes.
I was smoking ban. I fought freedom to choose, a working class grassroots pro-choice smoking organisation. I started a blog. I started getting noticed by the BBC and ITV and people like that. And if you want me to make a snide remark about Good Morning Britain on ITV, I've actually appeared 3 times on Good Morning Britain. Let me say I've actually appeared on Good Morning Britain than I've actually watched it. But anyway, that's a bitchy remark. But but my pièce de résistance, my moment in the sun was I've appeared on the BBC World Service twice discussing smoking, and the producer whispered in my ear, "You do know 56 million people are listening." So I've had 110 million people hear me on the BBC World Service. So that's probably my greatest moment in broadcasting.
Did you have that special feeling? Think, Christ.
Well, the silly cow told me before I went on air. She should have told me afterwards. And I was up against Lord Darcy as well. He was. I went in the green room and got the headphones on. Got the massive, great big microphone. With a foamy thing round it. And he walks in with his entourage. He walks in with his entourage, and I'm just sitting there, with my scrap of A4 with my notes on it, I face him. We're in front of 56 million people in the world. So, I thought I did it right, actually. Anyway, so that's a pretty good game. So,
what do you think makes you different from mainstream journos? What makes David Atherton different from mainstream journos?
I have no constraints of what I can think and what I can write and what I can say. I have absolutely no constraints. I do self-censor to a certain extent. And I do, whenever I get an opportunity, stress liberal aspects of my views of my life. If this is, I'm going to get buried for this in the comments and on X. I'm actually somebody who believes Shamima Begum should be allowed back into Britain.
What should be allowed back into Britain?
Shamima Begum, that Bethnal Green woman who joined ISIS over in Syria. Shamima Begum.
What? You think she should be allowed back into Britain, or she shouldn't?
She should be allowed back into Britain. She should be allowed to return to Britain. And let me explain why.
I will agree to disagree with you on that one, mate. But go on.
I'm sure mine is completely minority opinion. And if she ever did return and she incited other people or was involved in terrorism herself, the blood will be on my hands. I will take the responsibility for it. But the only thing, this is a very complicated issue, but let me try and put it as simply as I can. Okay, she left Britain after being radicalised online as a 15-year-old. Don't be a silly cow, Anyway, so she went over there. She got married a couple of times. Her husbands were bumped off. She had loads of kids that died, that kind of thing. She obviously had vile pro-ISIS views, and one of the things we do know is that she walked past a bin full of heads, and she was completely indifferent to it. And she used to walk around in a burqa and a Kalashnikov, bollocking the ladies about how they were dressed. But where my argument might break down is MI5 have information on her which I'm told is damning, but I don't have access to it. I can only go on what I know. But really, all Shamima Begum arguably is guilty of is wrongthink. She doesn't share our opinions. No, she has committed a thought crime rather than an actual physical crime. No, if she gunned down or beheaded people in Syria, I would totally agree with you. But she hasn't. I think as a free speech absolutist and fundamentalist, I don't think she has committed anything which demands that a permanent exclusion from Britain. I'm sorry, that's going to upset a lot of people, but that's my logic, that's my thinking, and you're very welcome to criticise me and abuse me. If you want to use the F and C words, help yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, it's not that. It's the fact that at the time she was 15. Yeah, when she left.
Yeah.
Right. But like at 15 years old, right?
Yeah.
I can't understand, because I would never in a million years allow someone to radicalize me and be literally, I know deep down what's right and what's wrong. Yeah. So she made that choice to get on a plane and go over and literally support a terrorist organization that's going around killing our own people.
Sure.
So in my honest opinion, mate, I think she made her bed and then she has to lie in it, unfortunately. You gave up the right to be here by going over it, and even and I say she's she's been over there for God knows how long. It's just it's a no-go for me, mate.
Yeah, sure. Sure. We're having a discussion here.
Everyone. Some people would agree, some people disagree, but that's that's just.
We're having a discussion here. I have a complete minority view. Probably at least 9 to 1 people disagree with me, but that's my supposed logical or illogical conclusion I've come to. And you're very welcome to abuse me and assault me and disagree with me all day long, 24/7, 365. But that's my opinion.
Yeah,
But no, the other, let me quickly say, if she got droned while she was out there, I wouldn't have been shedding any tears. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, like, yeah, but you know, that's a completely different story. But
yeah.
So, what is the most memorable protest for you that you've covered, like so far? Like,
oh, it was the 13th of September. Tommy Robinson's one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's probably for me as well.
Yeah, that really hit home. That did. That's probably the most successful one that he's ever done. I think it's put fear in the establishment. I think after what happened today with the Labour Party, just slagging him off. David Lammy called him a Nazi or Hitler Youth and what have we. I think the establishment realise that they can't win at the moment. No matter what they call us, no matter what they say about us, we're not going to budge our opinions. And they have lost. They have temporarily lost. They have certainly lost the initiative. Nigel Farage and us have the microphone, and they can't get a word in edgeways.
Quick one, because I've just noticed a comment in the comments, right? So this is just going to hash over this, right?
Sure.
So I'm tried to make a mod, but I can't for some reason. I can't get onto the YouTube app on my phone at the moment.
Yeah.
But we've had a comment. Oh, is it gone now? Oh, that's there. Lol, look at these racist gammons. I've took down 8 racist flags today. Set light to one. Pissed on 6 butchers' aprons.
Yeah, I saw that comment. Yeah,
it was great. Hang on, what's he put? He's put another one. It was great. All racists' faces caught on camera, added to database for facial recognition. Crack on, mate. But literally, this is my question, right? Because obviously, I was getting I got annoyed the other day because someone went out and literally took all the flags down, right, off the street, right, and literally like all the leftists jumped out. They came out in force. They came on the post that I put up, right. They were like, it's being used as a symbol of hate. I'm like, well, how are we using our flag as a symbol of hate? Explain to me how we're using our flag as a symbol of hate. Put in your own country's flag, right, up on lampposts, right? Like, how is that using it as a symbol of hate? I mean, as far as I'm aware, we are in Great Britain, so what's the problem in putting the Union flags up? Yeah, but you're using it as a symbol of hate. You're using it, to push a message out. In a sense where you're being racist to other people. I'm like, really? Are we? Because I don't think we are, mate. If in all honesty, and I thought to myself, mate, I said, mate, I'm not racist at all. How can I be racist, mate? My nan is a legal migrant. My nan came over here in the 60s from India, mate. Yeah. So why would I, for one, be racist in any way, shape, or form? Right?
Sure.
I don't care what colour you are, right? We're all human, right? Naturally, not everyone's going to get along, but that's life. You crack on, you just move on with it, right? That's it. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Indeed.
Not everyone is going to be everyone's cup of tea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just got to deal with it and move on. But to turn around and to say, oh, you're using the flag as a symbol of hate. Oh, mate, Dave, I've had it all, mate. Literally, I was laughing at the comments, mate. Literally, like, oh, mate, about 3 of them, literally repeating the same comment off each other. He looks good. He looks like he's dead behind the eyes and all this sort. I'm like,
yeah, sure.
I'm like, all right, thank you very much.
Okay.
That's your opinion. that is your opinion, and that is free speech.
Yeah.
So, okay, no problem, mate. If that's what you feel, no problem, mate. Have a lovely day. Yeah, go on, mate.
The left have lost the argument.
Yeah.
But it is the last thing they have. But going back one, I mentioned the Marxist long march through the institutions. This is how it has infected every strata of our society, or every strata of the establishments, the blob, the swamp, whatever you want to call it. And they know the only way that we can counter the desecration of our standards and our institutions is by calling us racist, calling us gammons, calling us Nazis.
I don't even know where the word gammon came from, mate, but I think it's quite funny when I hear people call me it.
Well, indeed, yeah. Well, I think bit of butter and some nice boiled new potatoes go very well, don't they? They're peas and carrots. I'm salty,
If I'm honest, I absolutely love gammon, egg gammon and chips, mate. So,
don't start me off.
I've
got a nice camembert in the fridge at the moment that's walking out the fridge, and I've got some nice cracker biscuits over there, and anyway, I'll probably have something to eat later on. But no, I think the election of Donald Trump in 2016 and 2024 has been a game changer. He's our rallying call for sporty conservatism. I do not see him as being an extremist in any way. The thing about Nigel Farage and Donald Trump is they started off in business. Look, me and you, we're kind of in business. We need to get things done. And sitting around, standing on ceremony and I think it's all procedures and tick boxing doesn't work for us. We want to get things done, So what we are doing now is we are seriously confronting and dealing with the blob, and the blob doesn't really know how to deal with it. They've tried insults. They've got threadbare arguments anyway. One of the biggest problems with the left is they live in echo chambers and they do not understand our points of view. The difference between the left and the right is we think they're misguided. They hate us and they want us silenced because they don't understand where we're coming from. They have no means of arguing their point with us.
I've got a thesis on this. This is my analogy, right? This is my theory, right? And you'll probably agree with me. So with the left, they want to, in hindsight, they want to provoke a reaction from the right. They want to rile us up. They want to antagonize us. They want us to react back violently towards them. Right? They want us to give them a smack in the mouth, and then so they can then get us nicked. Right?
Sure.
When you don't do that and you don't get riled up and you literally just talk down to them and just patronize them and just go, okay, thank you, have a lovely day, goodbye, right? Okay, right? They hate it, mate. They absolutely hate it. And that winds them up even more. And especially if you can sit there and, like verbally dismantle one of them. Like Charlie Kirk used to do with ease, dismantle any lefty that was put in front of him. That man, calmly, respectfully, never shouted over him, never swore.
Great man. But believe it or not, I've sat through hours and hours of his chats with students on campuses.
Believe it or not, I was watching these Oxford Union speech on the way home. But yeah, I think when I last saw Don Keefe, and me and Don Keefe speaking, when I done a little sit down interview with Don, like even Don said, like Don's words were, "Yeah, mate, he was literally a savant, like in his line of in his ability
Knowledge,
to like he was literally like such like a huge amount of knowledge behind, you know, his Christian, his faith, and the way he could literally win an argument in seconds, and literally they don't know how to respond to it. Do you know what I mean? But I thought that man, mate, he was ahead of his years, mate. He was literally
He's probably fairly unique in the fact that I think he deliberately left university because he thought he wasn't doing enough for him, and he moved on, and what a niche he carved, and all the patronising questions. Oh, you don't have a degree. There's a word for it. It's called being autodidactic, self-taught. That's me. I failed my 11 plus. I went to a box down and comprehensive. I'm a voracious reader of facts, and I suppose, for example, I think I mentioned the online safety act. They're coming after us streamers and us YouTubers, and Ofcom want to tie us up in tape, and it will cost us £17,000 a year to administer the reporting to Ofcom, and the initial setup costs will be somewhere between £20,000 and £60,000.
But the news outlets, Dave, they hate the fact that no one's tuning into their mainstream news channel anymore. To get their update on what's going on in the world or what's going on in the town that they live in. Everyone is come to X. I mean, X isn't hasn't been placed as the number one news app for no reason. You get like at least you're not getting no spin when you're coming on to X. I mean, obviously you've got always fact check what you're consuming on X, but other than that, you do have certain accounts that do put out factual findings that you can trust. I do virtually all of my journalism on X. I do go elsewhere from time to time, but everything I put out is in genuine good faith. I do try and fact check it. I try and fact check it as much as I can. It's actually taking me an hour in the past to write one tweet, one X post. Because I have to research so much to make sure what I'm saying is true. I say grok as save yourself from deleting it like further on down the line when you find out that it's not doesn't add up and it's not true.
I probably do about 30 tweets a day. So that's what 200 a week. 30 a day. So 7. 200 a week. So that's what 200 a week. That's what for 800 a month. Out of 800 a month, 800 expos a month, I'd probably delete one. I'd probably get community noted on one, and I'll do a correction on. Let's call it two. Let's call it two. 4 out of 800 expos need context, wonky or whatever. That's 99%. That's 99% accuracy in what I send out. So could the BBC point to 99% accuracy? No, I very much doubt it. So, in fact, there are four wonky tweets a month. That's 5 out of 1,000. So that's 5.5. Actually, 99.5%. That's nearer 99.5%. If I do it off the top of my head. Now, could the average mainstream newspaper?
I ain't got that much time on my hands to be doing that many tweets, mate.
Well, that's how I make my living. So
But listen, when me and you went to when we went down to when we saw each other last, then that was briefly down at the UTK rally, Tommy Robinson's United Kingdom Road down in London. Yeah, mate. the absolute lies that were coming out of the MSM's
mainstream media,
playing down the numbers as well, especially saying that there was only about 110,000. Hang on a minute. Didn't Shabana Mahmood say today that they're on a speech saying about 150,000 people came into London on the 13th?
Yeah.
And I was like, so they're all literally in cahoots trying to like make up that is that's it, that that fabricate that number of how many patriots actually turned up. When in fact, you see from the aerial footage, I mean, even Tommy shared it, didn't he? I mean, he showed it. He said, "Oh, well, look, all the MSM talking crap again. Have a look. Have a look at the footage." And it's literally, you literally see streams and streams of patriots all up and down all the bridges and that, spreading out further down, further out down deeper into London. And it was in excess about what, 2 million? I'd say about 1.5 to 2 mil.
There was also the people that were coming out of the Blackfriars station and walking along the embankment at the same time as well. So they are the people that are missed. I think the next Tommy Robinson rally should be done in Hyde Park. We have a completely open field and people.
I think I'm pretty sure that he's already sort of put it out there that the next one probably will be at Hyde Park anyway. I think.
But presumably you need permission for the stage and things like that.
Yeah.
So and the police are going to be dreadful about it as well. The Westminster Council to literally the last minute trying to get it cancelled.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So,
but when you was there on that day, what did you take away from that day? What was like the main highlight that you took away from that day? Like, how did you feel like being amongst such a huge crowd of people that turned up to London to unite with each other against this corrupt government and for everything that's going wrong in this country?
Hope. That this country isn't finished. This country may have a future. I when I sit down, I think about the way this country will be going logically over the next 40 years or so. It's very, very depressing. Unless we get tough with immigration, unless we get, frankly, re-immigration from millions of these people, this country will descend into major civil unrest, and I pulled my punches on that one as well. Major civil unrest. I sent out an expo today about a guy. His wife was accused of apostasy by some Muslim men, and they terrorized them. And apparently he's left the country, for 2 years. He's living off his savings, that kind of thing. And the police, of course, did nothing. Theoretically, it could be a complete grift, it could be a complete con, but there is a case of a guy who was forced to apologise for committing blasphemy in Birmingham, and he publicly apologised. Do you remember the 14-year-old boy that scuffed a Quran at a school in Wakefield? And 14-year-old boy with autism, and they apparently scuffed a Quran, and of course the Muslims were outraged. His mother was forced to go to a mosque with a hijab on, her hair covered. In front of her, I've actually got the photograph. What was in front of her? It was an audience of about maybe 100 to 200 men. No women, of course. Sitting cross-legged on the floor, looking at her. On the panel were the imams, and also, most disgracefully, was a chief inspector from the West Yorkshire Police, as she grovelled and pleaded for her life.
What?
It's yeah.
Wow.
In Islam, when it comes to apostrophe, whatever the word is, and blasphemy, the ultimate punishments are death. It's in the Quran. There's no getting away from it.
Don't believe it. I just don't. I just think it's yeah. I don't condone the ideology whatsoever. I think it's it's got no place in Western society in my eyes. That's just my view. That's
there is a case for moderate Islam in this country, but as the president of Turkey, President Erdogan said, there is no such thing as moderate Islam. There is just Islam. That's what he said. So, by the way, would you like me to read a verse from the Quran?
Go for it.
I'm going to have to be off camera just for a second. Wait a second.
Okay.
Oh. Do you consider yourself to be a Christian?
Not yet. No. Like I say, I'm still learning about Christianity at the moment. So I wouldn't sit there.
Sure.
I've said this before. I wouldn't sit there and go, "Oh, look at me, I'm a Christian now," and all that. No, I'm far from it. But I've got a lot of learning to do. Like,
sure.
Do you know what I mean? It's not.
Sure.
I'm still reading. I'm still reading the Gospel of John at the moment. So I've got a lot to learn still, mate. So no, I don't consider myself a fully fledged one at all by any means.
Okay, right. Here's my Quran. I don't know whether you know. Don't know whether you know, but Muslims don't believe Jesus is the Son of God. He's just merely a prophet, and he didn't die on the cross. I don't know whether you know that.
I didn't know that, but he did. And he is.
Yeah. We can't prove that factually, within certain parameters.
Obviously, it's down to what you believe in, but yeah,
it's a matter of belief. And this is what the Quran has to say about it. The Jews say Ezra is the son of Allah, and the Christians say the Messiah is the son of Allah, obviously meaning God.
Yeah,
that is their statement from their mouths. They imitate the saying of those who did disbelieve them before. May Allah destroy them. How they are deluded. That's for the Quran, Surah 9, verse 30.
I'm just trying to compute what you've just said. So basically, is that by what you just said? Is that basically more or less saying that the deluded are the people who don't believe?
Are the Christians or the Jews?
And Allah must destroy the people that don't believe.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So just because you don't believe in their scripture, they basically look at you as deluded just because you don't believe their ideology. Okay.
Exactly. You. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
Okay.
So no, it is not a good show, as they say. So no, I forgot the name of the independent or Labour MP that wanted blasphemy laws introduced into the country. Well, fine. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, that's a two-edged sword. You deny my Christianity, you deny my teachings. I'm sorry, it's a two-way street, double-edged sword.
It is. Yeah, of course.
So, either I can discuss the age that Muhammad consummated his marriage to Aisha or not, and you can discuss whether Jesus died on the cross with me or not. So I'm sorry, this, personally speaking, I'm not overly religious. I don't really give a toss, but unfortunately they do.
Yeah.
And the point is, we have to confront these people on their basis.
Yeah, of course you do. Bloody right on. So with just sidestepping back, so on the rally on the 13th of September, right?
Yeah.
From your view, right? What did you think that meant that day in terms of free speech? So what did it mean for free speech that day on the 13th of September at the United Kingdom rally? Also, especially given the fact that Elon Musk chimed in for about 20-minute conversation on a big bloody screen.
I know.
You know what I mean? To everyone in attendance, eh?
I know. I exactly take your point on that one. Well, if you want me to put this into an historical context. When you look at the 1381 revolt led by Wat Tyler, if you look at the suffragettes in late Victorian, early Edwardian times, if you look at the Chartist movements of 1830, 1840, all these people wanted representation and the vote and less taxes. I look upon that day as either being the final defiance of the British people against mass immigration, or it is the catalyst for solving the problems of our country.
For me, that day, I think it reignited the fire in my belly in thinking that Jesus Christ, I'm not using his name in vain or whatever, but as a whole on that day, like I've never seen so many British people unite.
Indeed,
sure. Do you know what I mean? In the name of free speech.
Sure, indeed, Free speech is the bedrock of any democracy.
Of course, it is. And without it, like I say, without free speech, without that bedrock, what have we got? Nationalism, and violence.
Sure, indeed, exactly.
Really?
It's there has been research done into the extreme right venting their spleen on a respectable platform, and they moderate their views. The more you silence somebody, the more angry, upset people become. Like Paul Goulding isn't always my cup of tea, but he's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to go.
It's my point. This is my point. Literally, like even I look at myself as right wing, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm right wing, and unashamed. I'm quite proudly say I'm unashamedly right wing. But I've got my views. I've got my opinions. I've got my beliefs. Yeah, on what I think, on what I deem deep down for me in what's right and wrong. But I still believe that even if you're left, like middle, centre, right, whatever,
sure.
All across the board, you're all entitled to your own opinion, because that's that's the point of having freedom of speech. It should, it's literally across the board for all, no matter what side of the fence you're on. No matter, you know what I mean? Like it's not, but because at the moment our government are stripping it away from us bit by bit. You've got the Online Safety Act. In my opinion, is a massive overreach. They're trying to censor what we're putting out on our social media platforms. In terms of our political beliefs, right? Because if it, as you've experienced, and many other people have experienced, if it goes against the government's narrative, then they're going to start trying to, censor you. You know what I mean? Take your account, or like nuke your, get your account taken away, or whatever, or silence you, or turn up at your door with the old bill to arrest you over a tweet. Like, it's pathetic, mate. But this is the day and age that we live in at the moment, and I just think like this needs to do a massive U-turn, like, and quickly, because like I don't want my kids growing up without having a voice and without having freedom of speech. Like, that's our right. That's our human right. We deserve to have free speech. Across, and like I say, across the board, it's for everyone. Free speech. No matter what side of the political fence you're on, everyone has that right to their freedom of speech, and it shouldn't be taken away from anyone, even the left to even the right. Do you know what I mean? Everyone should have that. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Who was it? Okay, George Galloway. He's blocked me on. He's blocked me on Twitter X. He's blocked me, and I've been on his show. I've been on his show 3 times, asking some nasty questions, and just stir it up a bit, And anyway, he was stopped by the terrorism police at Gatwick Airport because he'd been to Moscow with his missus, and if that was Tommy Robinson, I'd be thinking to myself, oh, you just been a bully again, and the same with George Galloway. I think the terrorism police were just bullying him, so he once said to me, well, you're from the populist right, I'm from the populist left. I thought that was a good point, actually. There is a populist left and the populist right. So I wish him well. I think his commitment to free speech, I think, is sincere and genuine. And I wish the guy well. There's probably not too much we agree on politically, but long may he say things that I find I don't agree with. The old Voltaire cliche about I don't agree with what you say, but I defend my right to the death of you to say it, sort of thing. I just don't really understand why people can't deal with what people consider to be facts, right or wrong,
because they only like listening to what they want to hear. They don't want to hear anything that they that they're not for or whatever. They just want to block it out, right?
Yeah, I have
it just becomes silly then, because if you're listening to their argument, right, then they've got to listen to your argument.
Sure.
So it works both ways, and it should always be like that.
Yeah,
do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I do. Yeah, I absolutely do.
So do you know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed. Well, so what do you? Let me ask you, Shorty. Where are your limits on free speech?
What do you mean? Where my limits are?
Let me talk about little green men from Mars. If I said I think we should go out and kill as many little green men from Mars as we can because they're nasty people, should I be allowed to say?
Straight away, I would stop you there, and I would say that's not freedom of speech. That's completely different. That's inciting. That's inciting murder.
Okay, fine.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
Fine. Absolutely.
If I say we need to go and do this, that, and that, and the other, to these people now, we need to go and do this now, whatever. That's inciting violence, or whichever I'm inferring, like whether it's violence or murder, whichever. So that's completely different from freedom of speech.
Okay, well, let me ask the next question. Little green men from Mars are all rapists and nasty, violent people. Should I be allowed to say that?
Well, yeah, because you're not inciting violence against them. You're basically,
But I said all of them are violent and violent rapists.
Well, no, because then you're tarring, because not all of them, they're not. You can't tar them all under one brush. There's going to be groups that aren't and groups that are. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay,
You know what I'm
so probably where the line is, if I say little green men from Mars are overrepresented in the rape statistics and violent crime statistics, and you can back it up with empirical evidence, I assume that's perfectly okay.
If you come up with the statistics
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's factual and it's proven,
Yeah,
I don't think no problem in doing that, because that's proof, and you're only airing
Yeah.
proof and hard facts.
Yeah. Or you present the figures in good faith.
Yes, all that. You're not literally just sort of like going, oh yeah, they're all like that. Do you know what I mean? Like then that's just. Do you know what I mean? That's just that just don't add up.
Yeah, sure. So I think we broadly agree on what is acceptable when it comes to free speech.
See? And deep down, and that's me literally just speaking honestly on where I think the line is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
I think put it this way. I personally think, right? Look, free speech. We're back with in regards to free speech.
Yeah.
You should be able to criticize a religion without being arrested over it.
Yeah, you should do. Yeah. You know, right? These Islamophobic laws that are proposed or are absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, mate.
Absolutely disgusting.
Mate, you should be able to criticize. You should be able to criticize Christianity, right? Which
indeed. Yeah.
They don't bother me, right? And it don't bother Christians, right?
Sure.
But when you get, it's like when you go and criticize Islam. Oh, you're an Islamophobe. You are an Islamophobe. Why are you criticizing our? Do you know what I mean? Well, straight away, just turn around and go, well, I'm not being funny, mate, but you can criticize my religion, and I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah,
I wouldn't care. So
absolutely.
criticize what you like on my religion. I'm not going to sit here and go, you Christianophobe.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a made-up word, mate. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
If they want to make up a word and label people as Islamophobes for criticising Islam, right? Yeah. Then it should go hand in hand. So then, when Islam criticise, when people that their faith is Islam and they wanted to go and criticise Christianity, right? Yeah. Okay, then we're going to make up a word and then we're going to call you a Christianophobe.
Yeah, exactly.
For criticising Christianity.
There we go. So
you either take the rough with the smooth, or you just sit there and whinge and go and be on one side and be like, no, you're not allowed to criticise us. I think you're an Islamophobe. Like, no, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's absolutely it's a load of crap.
Yeah, sure. Do you know something? I think the proposed definition has come under so much opposition. I don't think it will ever see the light of day. And I think increasingly the Labour MPs are actually against the idea as well. I think if it does go through, it will be yet another nail in the Labour coffin. I can see at the next election, if current trends maintain, I can see them going from 400 MPs down to 50.
So do you ever listen? What we were just speaking about a second ago, just for 1 second?
Yeah.
Do you worry about being deplatformed or criminalised?
Yes, because I've been threatened with arrest before by the police. Back in
wasn't that over? And that was just over sharing a meme, wasn't
it? Yeah. It was the F Palestine, F Hamas, F Islam meme.
But we should be able to say that, mate. We should be able to say that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I know. There is two-tier policing. There is two-tier justice. There is the Islamic sect that is treated with kid gloves. Do you know what the background to that is?
What do you listen? What do you make, Dave? Right, of that recent news story, right, where a Taliban commander's nephew, right?
Yeah, sure.
has been granted asylum in the UK, and he's now been, and a judge has now ruled that he can now have 7 of his family members come over and be over here as well. What do you make of that one?
Apparently, the woman judge who made that decision has a degree and a master's in Islamic studies.
Yeah.
Well, I assume that's the case. Someone posted it. So this is the kind of thinking that
think of the security and the threat level. You're granting asylum to a Taliban leader's nephew. A nephew, that's family, is a terrorist.
Indeed. Well, first thing I know about Afghanistan men is they're 22 times more likely to be convicted of rape than a native Brit. They come from a particularly backward country. The worst example of misogyny and sexism. It's not even barely sexism; it's absolute misogyny. During the war in the early 2020s, there were women who received bullet wounds and shrapnel wounds, and they went to the hospital for treatment. They were turned away because there were only male doctors to treat them. So, what kind of society treats women with that contempt and with that complete lack of empathy? The Taliban are animals. They are subhuman. They do not adhere to anything approaching that we agree with. I've spoken to a lady who was born and raised in Afghanistan and has asylum over here. And what she said to me was that when these men and boys come over from Afghanistan, they are completely shocked at the way that women are allowed to dress here and the amount of power and influence they wield in this country, i.e., they're by and large relatively equal. And what happens is, rather than adopt the Guardian way of thinking, these men actually regress into their caveman and Neanderthal thinking, that how they were brought up in Afghanistan. They actually get worse. You're talking about women who are beaten, marital rape, that kind of thing. These people just do not fit in here.
They don't because it's a backwards barbaric ideology, and I don't. I mean, I feel so sorry for the women that have to be like, do you know what I mean, wearing that that big, what do they call the black ensemble that they wear? What's it called? The big
burqa, the cab, whatever you want to call it.
It's like one thing I always think about is, especially when we're in the hot summer months, right? Black attracts heat. So could you imagine how boiling they would be under, literally when they're just covered in black fabric, under black fabric? It would be like a sweat box. And especially when it gets to like 35, 36 degrees over here when we're in the middle of a heat wave. I feel sorry for them, mate. But listen, looking forward, right, on upcoming protests and content you're planning, I think I mentioned to you the other day, we've agreed, haven't we? Me and you are gonna go to a protest coming up soon. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be the weekend. So that's going to be, we're going to see what that's about, and document that protest. On Saturday. But yeah, just finishing up. I was going to say, if anyone has got any questions for Dave, put them in the comments now. If not a problem, and we'll wrap it up. So I'll give you guys, a couple of seconds.
Couple of minutes.
if a couple of minutes, if you want to put any questions out. Oh, sorry, actually, one more thing. Samantha Smith has said, what about the new ID thing? So the digital ID that Starmer's trying to implement on our country to try and control our finances, control everything about us, control, have tabs on our whereabouts.
Sure.
Your whole life basically under control under the Labour government is what he wants.
This is the
what about that?
Yeah. Well, Samantha, this is the Chinese social credit system. If you've been a naughty boy or girl, you can't get the train. You can't buy any petrol, and you can't get on a plane anywhere in the world. This is complete control of the state of your life. Really, if they ever think that they're going to get anywhere near implementing something like that, I would strongly suggest there will be major civil unrest in this country should that happen. We should fight this with every fibre in our body, in the same way that we should fight for our right to control our borders. These are the existential and basic subjects of our day and items, talking points of our day and political points of our day, which need to be dealt with robustly by us. The next general election can't come quickly enough, and tomorrow's. I just cannot believe how stupid Starmer is. The way he doubled down today. And Starmer and his cabinet ministers and David Lammy called us all Nazis. Shabana Mahmood called us all excuse my French, P-word, bashers, skinheads and racists and what have we. I can't believe how ill-judged the Labour Party's reaction was to events over the last few days. We in 2028, 29, or whenever the election is, we will have one chance to put this country right, and make sure when you put your X or tick on your vote thing that you're choosing the right party. Failing that, we will become a Texas. We will become the Karens of the Caribbean. Our culture and ourselves and our personage will disappear, and we will become a footnote in history. People will remember us for being the greatest inventors of the world, the people that kickstarted the Industrial Revolution and began modern democracy as we know it today. And if we don't get the right government next time around, that is all gone. We live in a post-democratic age.
Who do you think is the right government?
Truth be known, reform.
Yeah.
Advance. I think Advance have a role in keeping Nigel Farage's feet to the fire. But the only way I believe that we got a prayer of turning this country round is a reform government in 2028, 29, 27, whenever it's going to happen.
Yeah. So, just finishing up, do you encourage people to get into activism themselves and to go out and do and get in and maybe just test the waters, and if they want to, journalism for themselves, maybe?
Yeah, sure. No, I appreciate you guys have got jobs and mortgages and things like that, and you can't put your head too much above the parapet. Understand that. That is what me and Shawnee are here for. Is we're here to amplify your voices, and we're here to make your life easier, a little bit more fulfilled, from being able to point out where the world is going wrong. So get stuck in. DM me. I replied to the vast majority of my DMs. It's only really the idiots I don't reply to. Let's move on together. I might be one person, but I think I carry quite a few people. chin up. You know, I personally feel we're going for our second Battle of Britain. This isn't sort of June 1940 to September to September 1940. We are now on the Battle of Britain of 2025 to 2050, and it might be slower burning, but we must be just as red hot and in dealing with this country's major problems.
Karen just put, would you stand for reform?
No, unfortunately, I wouldn't pass their vetting.
Yeah,
I wouldn't pass their vetting. So,
okay. Sorry, Sam Mass, do you really think we will get the chance to vote in 2029?
Got to say, Sam Mass has a good point. Thing about socialists is when they get in power, they're very reluctant to give it up. That's a very, very good point. Now, you look at the way that Labour delayed the local elections in some county councils. Could they do the same in 2029? Just putting the idea out there. So, and also Sam Bass, I don't think we're going to be at war with Russia. If we enter into nuclear war, the consequences would be absolutely devastating. Europe would not exist anymore.
Indeed. Right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up there, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. And to people that are new to the stream, if you'd like to give us a subscribe on YouTube, a like and a share, that would be absolutely brilliant, and I'd really appreciate that. And we're trying to widen the scope out to a wider audience.
Sure.
With the Uncensored Patriots doing, myself doing these live interviews online.
Yeah.
By
the way, very briefly, we are the future of broadcasting, not the BBC, not ITV, not the Guardian. We are the future of broadcasting, as said by Elon Musk.
There we go. We are the media. Those were his words. So, all right. Listen, thanks, Dave, mate. Thanks for coming on. Always a pleasure, mate, to speak to you, brother.
I love talking shit, so, no problem.
Yeah, mate. Love it. Right, listen, thanks, mate. And listen, I'll be catching up. I'll catch up with you anyway, because I'm going to be seeing you over the weekend anyway when we go out.
Yeah, I'm around.
Listen, so yeah, lovely jubbly. Thank you very much.
All the best. Good night.
See you later. Bye.